Hi everyone, happy Wicked Wednesday and welcome to Shivers. With January coming to a close and snow being found across the United States, today we're embracing winter to its fullest and talking about 5 horror movies that feature an element of being trapped in the snow. Your milk, bread, and eggs are really coming in handy for these films. At number 1 we have Misery. This is the first movie that came to my mind when thinking about snow-capped horrors. Misery is a Stephen King story focusing on a famous writer who gets into a car crash. His number 1 fan, Annie Wilkes, rescues him and brings him to her remote cabin in the woods to recover. He uses this recovery time to finish one of his novels, and Annie snaps when she hears that he is killing off her favorite character. She begins torturing him and ultimately becomes the most extreme fangirl. This movie is one of the classics and is definitely worth a watch, making you think about the horrors of being trapped from the snow, while also thinking about the horrors of who you are trapped with. At number 2, following Misery, we have another Stephen King story, The Shining. In the movie The Shining, we have the Torrance family that decides to stay in the Overlook Hotel, which sits in the snowy Colorado mountains, as a means of killing 2 birds with 1 stone. The father, Jack, gets the opportunity to write his novel without any distractions, and the family gets to stay there for free as long as they babysit the property. As time goes on, Jack becomes more and more delirious, and the family realizes that they're in trouble as the snowstorms come and go, leaving them truly trapped in the hotel with this crazy man. There are a lot of fears in this movie, and great artistry in this movie as well, but the biggest fear of all is being stuck with your family in a snowstorm, knowing that your biggest fear isn't the snow, but your own father and husband. At number 3, we have the movie Frozen. I've mentioned this movie before, and no, it's not the Disney version, but Frozen is one of those movies that will stick with you for a long time. 3 friends go to a ski resort and decides to sneak in one last ride down the mountain before the resort closes for a week due to a holiday. There's bad communication between the chairlift operators, and the lift and the resort are all shut down while the 3 friends are in the middle of riding to the top of this mountain. The friends panic and try to figure out how they can escape this lifted mountain and survive, knowing that the resort won't be open for a full week and that they will die if they try to jump from about 50 feet high, and they'll also die if they just decide to sit there. As simple as this concept is, it's a really great movie that keeps you on the edge of your seat, and it's truly realistic setting that makes you think, how in the world would I get down and survive? Knowing that you'll be frozen on the chair if you don't do anything at all. At number 4, we have the movie The Lodge. This is another one of those scarring movies for me. The Lodge is the newest of the films on our list, coming out in 2019, and focuses on a father and his 2 children who go on a family adventure to their cabin in the wintertime, with the father bringing his new girlfriend with them for the first time since his wife killed herself. The father is called into work at the last minute and decides to just casually leave this new girlfriend with his kids, not wanting to take away from their little retreat. After he leaves the cabin, weird things begin happening and the paranoia begins. The power goes out and the roads are too treacherous for them to leave. The new girlfriend does her best to be an adult to these children who really don't want anything to do with her. And the children are being reckless with supplies, everybody's freezing, the fire won't start, nothing good is happening. As a spoiler alert, here's how the movie ends. We come to find out that all of the above is a very elaborate prank put together by the kids who want the father's girlfriend out of their lives, knowing that she has this insane past as she lived with a cult for the majority of her life. What they didn't expect, though, is that the girlfriend would actually go crazy. She doesn't believe the kids when they tell her that it's all a prank, and she decides that this time in the lodge is actually purgatory and that they are all dead, knowing that they have to actually do the act of killing themselves, even though they are already dead, in order for them to move on to heaven. As the father finally returns to the cabin, the girlfriend shoots him and then ties him and the kids to the table as this weird version of the Last Supper. The movie ends with the girlfriend placing a gun on the table, making the audience really believe that no one will get out of there alive. It's a great twist for a movie, but the whole thing is so dark and gothic and sad that it makes it one of those films that really does stick with you. At number 5, the last one on our list, we have 30 Days of Night. for the final movie on our list. This is a wintertime movie that takes its environment and really makes the most of it. Set in Alaska, where there are 30 days of darkness each year, we have a horde of vampires that come to town to have a buffet on the townsfolk, knowing the sun won't rise to burn them or turn them back to humans anytime soon. Most people in the town head south for the wintertime, but those who remained have to come together to survive and kill off these vampires. This is such a great survival horror movie that it's one of the classics in the vampire genre, but it really makes you think about what goes bump in the darkness of the wintertime. Thanks for listening to today's Wicked Wednesday. If you find yourself stuck inside of a snowstorm, just know that your fate probably won't be as bad as the characters in these movies. For those of you who want to continue talking about all things spooky, you can sign up for the Shivers Meetup page and be actively part of events and discussions. I hope you all enjoy your Wicked Wednesday.